2019 Russian Grand Prix, in my opinion, was a little bit underrated. It had just about everything. It had fast turns, had good overtaking, it had solid racing, and most importantly, it had controversy. So going into the Japanese Grand Prix, we're going to talk about where this leaves us in the Constructor Championship and the Drivers' Championship, and what are the chances and statistical odds that these teams can pull out a victory. Does Mercedes have it locked up? What would Ferrari have to do to take a victory in the Constructors' Championship, and everything in between? Here's where we are in the Constructors' standings. We have Mercedes in first place with 571 points. Ferrari not able to close the gap anytime soon with 409 points. You have Red Bull, 311 points, driven mostly by Max, but Alex Albon driving well, making up for the lost time that they had with Pierre Gasly in the seat. McLaren with 101 points, proving to be best of the rest, driven mostly by Carlos Sainz, but Lando Norris having a very, very solid rookie season. Renault's 68 points is probably the most underwhelming of anyone on the field considering the expectations going into the season with citing people like Daniel Ricciardo. After that, we have Toro Rosso with 55 points. You have Racing Point, 52 points, Alfa Romeo for 35 points. The two Haas drivers, Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen, aren't having, again, the best year in terms of their engine reliability, but as of late, they have turned it on a little bit and shown that, for the most part, they both have a little bit of pace. Grosjean continues his bad luck, but Kevin Magnussen fighting through to get some points. And Williams still has just the 1 point, with Robert Kubica, who actually will be leaving Williams, leaving behind George Russell, who's the only driver on the field to not score that point. Let's jump over to the driver standings. Lewis Hamilton has a commanding lead at 322 points, with his partner, Valtteri Bottas, with 249 points. Charles Leclerc has jumped into third and broken free of his tie with Max Verstappen with 215 points, with Max falling just 3 points behind. Sebastian Vettel's fall from grace only was compounded and exacerbated at the Russian Grand Prix when he disobeyed team orders. He ends up with 194 points after the weekend. Pierre Gasly, driving for Toro Rosso now, has 69 points, where Carlos Sainz quickly catching him from the McLaren team with 66 points. Now Red Bull driver next to Max Verstappen, Alex Albon has 52 points, with Lando Norris, who happens to be Carlos Sainz's teammate, with 35 points. Daniel Ricciardo, the major signing from Renault, has 34 points and is tied with Nico Hülkenberg, who Renault has actually decided to sever ties with Nico Hülkenberg, so that makes it interesting. Daniel Kvyat has 33 points. After that, we've got Sergio Perez, who, in my opinion, been one of the more consistent drivers getting points despite some of the problems he's had with his engine, and while also outperforming his teammate. Kimi Räikkönen has 31 points, pulling a majority of the Alfa Romeo points. Kevin Magnussen, again, pulling most of the weight for the Haas team, but has 20 points. Lance Stroll has 19 points for the Racing Point team. Romain Grosjean has less than half of his teammates' points, but ends up with 8 after the Russian Grand Prix when he was DNF'd in a 3-way collision. Antonio Giovinazzi actually has 4 points on the year, with Robert Kubica, the only team member of the Williams team to actually pull in a point. George Russell, the last lone driver without a single point on the grid. But I make all this content for you guys, but I want you to make a choice now. I made 2 separate videos, and depending on what you choose, you'll get uniquely different content, tailor-made and customized to what you just selected. If you think Mercedes is going to win the Japanese Grand Prix, click right here. I made you this video, and it's all about that. It's all about what happens next, and what are the odds they locked up the Constructors. If you think Ferrari's going to win, continue their pace, disrupt their hybrid era, absolute domination at the Japanese Grand Prix, click here. Mercedes, Ferrari, they're very different videos and with much different things to say in them. We'll see you in a second. I'll see you at the whichever video you choose.